is it just me, or does anyone else forgets they're a minority until they're put in a situation that...
Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. My brother, I pray that you and your family are well. This phrase that you use, minority in Islam, I believe it's a phrase that shouldn't be used. It doesn't make sense to me. I think what you meant to say was that you stand out. When you're in an environment where there are not a lot of Muslims from your specific community, you stand out. For example, let's say if someone is Palestinian, right, or someone is Bangladeshi, however they were born and raised in Mali, let's say for example in Mali, and their whole life they've been seeing so many Africans as Muslims and not a lot of their people because they're not in their country, right? They will stand out. They will think that, oh, perhaps there's not a lot of my people that are Muslims, but there's more African Muslims in there than Muslim from their land. They just stand out, alhamdulillah. But this idea of being a minority in Islam, usually when the term minority is used, it is in relation to power. Like, for example, lack of political power, so you're a minority in a country. Lack of economic power, so you're a minority in a certain town, etc. But not in Islam. So we have to be very, very careful. Now, in regards to your experience, many of us have gone through this experience, and there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it. The reason being because the people who are saying this, they don't know anything about African history. They don't know anything about the Malian Empire, the Ghanaian Empire, the Ghanaian Empire, the Songhai Empire. They don't know anything about Africa, and you're West African, so they don't know anything about West Africa. So that's your opportunity. That's our opportunity to educate our brothers and sisters about Africa. Give them a small history lesson. Why not? When I was in college, I remember telling the brothers in the college, in the MSA, excuse me, I said, when I say you, when I talk about you, I mention that you're from Palestine, or I mention that you're from Ghana, or I mention that you're from Gambia, and I mention, or not Gambia, Ghana, I mention that you're from Yemen, I mention that you're from Bangladesh and Pakistan and India, etc. But when I mentioned, you guys just say Africa. No more. From now on, when I mention, say Ivory Coast. I gave them that speech. And I'm a hothead, and may Allah forgive me. And they said, okay. And they understood. And then I said, if you want to place in my heart, call me a Jula. Don't just say, oh, my Ivorian brother. But say my Jula brother, if you want to place in my heart. SubhanAllah. I educated them, in short. So you should do the same thing. We should be doing this. I don't expect, or we shouldn't expect, brothers and sisters from other communities to know about us. To just know about us. No. Right? We shouldn't expect them to just, when they have free time, to just research, let's see, Islamic history in West Africa. Or Islamic history in Africa. No. SubhanAllah. They're not going to do it. I don't mean that they're bad or anything, or that they're doing something wrong. They just don't have to do it. If anything, they should spend more time learning about their own people. Now, if someone doesn't know about you, educate them. That's my advice, alhamdulillah. But there are many brothers and sisters, not you, and not saying that you are doing this, but they complain. They always ask me if I'm a revert. You're not a revert? So just tell them that you're not a revert. SubhanAllah. Why are you getting so offended? Why do they always think that Africans are all reverts? Because you haven't educated them. Maybe if you educate them, they won't think that. But alhamdulillah, very simple logic. So that is all, my brother. Alhamdulillah. Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. May Allah bless you. Allahumma ameen. Peace. Also, bro, don't call yourself a minority. Never refer to yourself as a minority. Again, it has a negative connotation, and it denotes weakness, that you're weak. You are a weak group of people. You're a weak class of people. I'll give you an example. Let's say you go to Saudi Arabia, and you go to this town in Saudi Arabia. Let's say this town exists, and you know the most Quran in that town, the most fiqh in that town. You have the most knowledge in that town. You're the only African there. Will they not make you the imam? If they're God-conscious people, righteous people, they will make you the imam. Will you be considered the minority? You wouldn't be considered the minority. You won't be a minority. Yes, you stand out, but you're not a minority. They go to you for everything. Alhamdulillah. So, don't call yourself a minority. Let's not get into this habit. Alhamdulillah. May Allah guide us all.